Welcome to Gab and Jam, episode 135. Our topic today is near and dear to our hearts. It is, what is DIY and why is it necessary?
Okay. So DIY, I feel like DIY really connects back to, I guess, the old saying that necessity is the mother of invention.
I like
right?
that,
So, you get like the White brothers, they want to fly, they had to invent flying machines, so they invented
airplane. Yeah, I love
exactly.
it.
And then, same thing with Henry Ford. Wanted to make cars quicker. What does he invent?
The assembly line,
right?
Yes.
So I think it's the same thing. It's sort of like, Motown Records was born out of the fact that there was something missing.
Right.
That Berry Gordy had a vision for.
Yes.
As far as the way that he was going to present these black artists to, the overall white population, and he figured out how to do it. And that's what Motown Records was about. And so he invented Motown Records. He, put it out. It became the sound of young America, right? And that's what Motown was. And so I think when we start thinking about that, you have to think, as an artist, what are you looking to do? Where do you fit in the landscape? So for instance, if there is a model out there, if you see yourself as the next Wiz Khalifa, if you see yourself as the next, whatever might be rapper on whatever label, then maybe going the label route is the best thing for you. And it's not just for rappers; it's for whether it's pop stars, whatever it might be. If there is a template out there for you, then maybe pursuing the route of trying to find a record label that can be interested in you, getting with producers who can kind of line you up to be put in that particular arena is best for you, that's great. If you're at a point and you're saying, look, there's nothing out there that fits what I'm doing, then you in a position where you are going to have to think about creating it, and that's when you have to do another soul searching, which is, do I believe in myself enough to invest what needs to be invested in order to create it?
Yeah, the good part about doing it yourself is you don't have to worry about a specific time frame, because if you have decided and you've committed, then if trends change or whatever else, that doesn't concern you as much. And you can put as much time and effort as you want versus, the possibility of the market, hey, we're on to the next cycle, and we put as much money as we're gonna put into your record for this 3 months, and this is how well it did. Now we're moving on.
Right. Yeah. So. And that's where I think that you really have to start thinking about where you fit as an artist, because if you're someone who can fit in the trends and maybe you feel like you're in a good position to predict where trends are going, then maybe the route is to get with a record label, and you can kind of pitch your artist or whatever you're doing to the labels kind of based on that. Hey, I understand that this particular sound is happening now. However, this is the next step, in this sound, and you might have a whole pitch that's built around that, and that's cool. If that's what you have. But if you're someone that's kind of outside of that, then it seems like you're gonna have to build it. It's that if you build it, they will come type of thing.
Well, if you build it, then you can get out there and get your people together on your own. That's the good part about it. So I just wanted to say, I'm not gonna go down my list. If you want to check out the blog post that has all the characteristics of the DIY mindset, you can. But can I just suggest also that it is necessary for DIY to exist, and it's for all the reasons that you have said before. But it really pushes the bounds of culture, because once you build it and you distribute it, you gather your tribe, it becomes a movement, just like rap, just like techno, just like EDM, and now the wider culture now accepts that as as a means, just like the shaky camera work and the DIY videos used to be that, not acceptable. Now everybody's doing it, and it's because DIY people have pushed the bounds. The definition has changed.
What Blair Witch Project.
Yeah,
right? Evil Dead. All of these things that started off as French things. Reservoir Dogs. Things that low budget. Spike Lee. You're absolutely right. Low budget type stuff. Where as they say, low to no budget type things that people did and at one time were basically underground type things. Went to the top. That Sub Pop, that whole label, that whole Nirvana movement of grunge and all the rest of that kind of stuff, all came out of DIY. The whole indie label is built off of DIY rockstar type stuff. So it's sort of like, don't look at it as being a kind of thing like, okay, the industry won't accept me, and so I kind of got to do it because I'm not up to their level. No, it's the type of thing where you have to say, hey, look, I believe in what I'm doing. And I know that there are tons of other people who believe in what I'm doing, and regardless of what anybody else is saying, I'm going to do it. And the other part that's great about it is the amount of control that you have over your material. There's no fight about where's my money going. There's no fight about who owns my masters. There's no fight about any of that kind of stuff because it's in fact you are controlling all of that, all those things around you. You know what's going on with your merchandise. You know what's going on with your masters. You know what's going on with your copyrights for your stuff. And it's a lot to juggle. That's true. But at the end of the day, you will be more thankful for it. That's kind of the Jay-Z story. With Rockefeller Records and all the rest of this kind of stuff. So you start looking at where he's at as far as the kind of money that he's making. He doesn't have that other story to tell that even Dr. Dre has to tell that, hey, I didn't know what was going on with my money, and I didn't know what was going on with this, and know with that, and I lost money based on that. So he didn't have that aspect of it, because he owned it from the outset.
Yeah, that's what he said. He couldn't get a deal, so so he did his own thing, which is, again, DIY ethos.
It is.
What do you think? What story? Because we have tons of story. Amanda Palmer with her crowdfunding and booking her tour where she sleeps on people's couches. We got Brockhampton doing their own documentaries, their own videos, and just so many stories. What story have you heard of a person that you respect that has done that DIY ethos? As we said, it's been going on forever. So what can you add to this group? Because we love those stories. Those are the things that motivate us. So what can you add to that lure and to help encourage us and motivate us to continue down that road? And what's next?
We got the funk album coming out.
We got the funk album coming out, Sugar Fit. We are working on videos every weekend now to try to meet the deadline because we're going to do a video for every single song. So look for that. We'll have more information, especially next episode. So be sure you check that out. If you dig the vibe, be sure to
subscribe.
We're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.